Okay, so in this episode, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to make a simple, easy Sand Duper for the newest version of Minecraft. So for 1.21.6. And yeah, I mean, it'll be a small tutorial, basically how it works as well. Should be fun. So we'll get straight into it. Okay, to start, you're going to want to clear out the area underneath the portal. You're going to want to break the end portal frames. Now, the way that a lot of us used to do this was with the red mushroom trick. Unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore. So, in the same way that you'd break bedrock, you'd have to do the same process here. We can start by making a small platform for us to stand on. Then, on the block that you want to destroy, you place a piston facing upwards. On that piston, you place a TNT. To the left of that, you can place a block, some obsidian underneath. Then you place a trapdoor on the obsidian with a lever above and another TNT up here. So what you want to do when you're here, you right click the lever to activate the TNT. You look in this corner and you hold right click. And just like that, when the piston is facing upwards, it means you've broken the end portal frame. And you can do the same with bedrock, but in this case, we need to break the end portal frames. And just like that, we broke it. So you're either going to have to do this 3 times if you want to have one side, but I like a little bit of a faster Sand Duper. So what I usually do is have all 4 sides be Sand Dupers, but in this case we're only going to do one side, and yeah, I'll show you how to make that right now. So like I mentioned earlier, it's actually a really simple design. What you're going to want to do is start by placing a block right underneath the end portal frame. You're going to place a piston on top of that with 3 slime blocks coming out. You'll place 3 pieces of redstone like this. Now coming out of that, we're going to have a 1-tick repeater into a block with a lever on it. So this is your on and off switch. On top of this, we need a piece of redstone dust with a block here, a repeater here with 4 ticks, and a piece of redstone dust here. Now, next to this redstone, we need a block with a redstone torch on both sides, and here you can see it created a little redstone clock. We can just turn that off while we're building it. Now on top of these blocks, we'll place 3 leaves. These 3 leaves are actually really important. Without them, if it's any other type of block, it just doesn't work. It doesn't duplicate the sand. So on top of one of these torches, we're going to place a piston, a sticky piston, with 3 slime blocks coming out of that. On top of the other redstone torch, we're going to place a piece of obsidian with a redstone torch on top. Now, coming out of that, we're going to place a block on top of that with a redstone torch on that side, a block on that, and then we can just put a block coming off of the redstone torch, and then from here, 3 pistons, just like that. And then on top of this block and on top of the 3 pistons, we'll place some redstone, and that is it. So to actually activate it, you have to put the 3 sand here, and then just like that, it's now duplicating. So what we need to do now is actually make a collection system. So we need to go into the end. So once the Ender Dragon is dead, basically all we have to do now is make a collection system. So the way I like to do it is I like to keep this area free. And so you count out 4 blocks, you place a temporary block there, and we can make a little drop chute here. So what this drop chute allows us to do is, as you can see, sand shot out in this direction. We basically want to catch it here so that it falls down into a little collection chamber down here. Now, what I like to do is I like auto crafters. I mean, that's pretty much like my favorite thing in Minecraft. So what I like to do is I like to make some sort of system to auto craft the sand into sandstone. But in this case, I'm just going to show you bare bones what I can do to make a really easy collection system. What you have to do is place a slab here. This is so that the sand doesn't land like this. We want it to actually break. So when the sand falls on this, it'll break, which allows us to basically use water to transport it over some hoppers. And those hoppers we can immediately place them here. So we'll place the hoppers coming out of here. So what we can do is add 5 hoppers like that. Extend out the water a little bit. And that is it, pretty much. I think we'll add some blocks here so that when the sand lands, it doesn't, explode out. But that is pretty much it. Now you have a really easy, simple sand duper. Now that we're back here, what we need to make sure we always do is have a bed set out here, set our spawn, so that every time that we come back through the portal, we can immediately turn this off. Because you don't want this running and, generating sand when you're not in the area. That would not be smart. So to make it actually work, what we also need is a chunk loader, so that when we're in the end, we can actually have this area being loaded without a player needing to be here. So the way we do that now in this version of Minecraft is just with an ender pearl stasis chamber. These are really easy to make with some soul sand, some water, and an ender pearl. So you dig down. You need to make sure you're in the right chunk. So in the chunk where the ender portal is and where your contraption is, you dig down just 5-6 blocks, place your soul sand, and throw your ender pearl in. So this should now be loaded, which means when we turn this on and we go into the end, you'll see sand is flying down here, being collected, and ending up in what would be some chests. So if we add some double chests coming out of here, just like that, we should be collecting plenty of sand. Now the rates of this aren't crazy, and that's because we only have one setup. Like I said, I like doing it on all 4 sides, so you'd have this same catching system on all 4 sides, or make your own, whatever. But yeah, and then you can basically funnel all the sand into whatever you want. Some shulker box loaders, an auto crafter, whatever. So the one thing you will have to remember when using an ender pearl stasis chamber is that when you die, it will actually break your ender pearl, which will stop the machine from working. Yeah, so whenever you're here, just make sure you have an ender pearl in this stasis chamber, and yeah, just make sure you do that. Another really nice thing about Sand Duper is that it doesn't just work with sand. So you could use the same machine with gravel, red sand, concrete powder, pretty much any full block that is a falling block. So it's pretty powerful if you need tons of concrete powder or whatever. Yeah, I mean it works the exact same way. So here you'll see all 3 blocks are ending up in these chests. So that includes the concrete powder, the gravel, and the red sand should be here somewhere. And yeah, just like that, we have a very simple sand duper. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really means a lot. The channel's been growing a lot recently, and yeah, the support is really appreciated. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.